29. NPR's 2022 American Winter Drought Report is apocalyptic. You'd better help get this audiobook to authorities everywhere, because otherwise the citizens, media, and everyone with the money and power to maybe help save us if they knew and acted don't know and ever continue doing nothing. Just as 2/3 of Earth is in drought, 2/3 of the United States continues toward our 24th straight year of diminishing rain. Last summer, National Public Radio researchers announced our future. Soon, Southwest dying rain, crop, and cattle crises will spread nationwide. On December 6, 2022, hungry, underweight cattle are being sold in 20% higher numbers all over America because their grasslands stopped growing for the season. Beyond next summer's sky-high beef prices, as the unprecedented winter glut declines to shortage, I don't see any good future for America's grasslands or beef industry, do you? Just one example of our myriad, ever-worsening drought troubles. Now let's discuss food crop crises. Everywhere across the American grain belt, farmers report plunging wheat harvests. In many locations, the last good nurturing rain was 6 months ago, in May. Winter wheat was planted, but is now only 3 inches high, ravaged daily by hard-blowing sand. Without a rapid end to winter drought, obviously our new normal, these winter plantings are doomed. It seems that only you and I, and obviously every hopelessly praying farmer, know what is coming for next spring's, summer's, and fall's crops. Western America's threat to actual lake, river, and drinking water existence, reports NPR, will explode nation and worldwide before publishers decide our speeches need emergency distribution or exposure enough to engage the only bunch that can help us now, you and I, and those authorities that we engage and influence. Every area receiving a permanent dearth of rain must still attempt street and roof rain collection that Tucson residents discovered can make a mere inch of rain last 6 months. But only desalinization and flood collection will provide the crop irrigation, tree watering, and distribution to lakes and municipal water systems to keep humanity alive when low lakes and rivers will empty. Your true horror is hearing our future from a single little guy paying attention. Just not at all from the world of authorities, corrupted or just asleep instead of helping us with the power that we voted, paid for, and delegated to them. Get this out. Get yourself out. Save us. Most of my speeches cover Power Nation's history of public war for private profit and the necessary new peace and survival laws, old and new, that you must demand of leaders, which also you must become to prevent humanity's impending violent murder-suicide. This citizens' movement requires your replacement of doomsday with nuclear and conventional disarmament. Your influence also to crash build new water source infrastructure must be achieved in years, not decades. We must now confiscate Weaponeer's trillions for preventing hyperspeed environmental doomsday, accelerating permanent drought's mass death from hunger and thirst. Well, aren't you so impressed with Steve Race's clever original plan? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Bullshit alarm. I only ripped off the exact law of human love and care trumpeted by the Old Testament God, who got so sick and tired of watching multitudes of farmers marching off to evil, nationalist, racist foreign invasions, leaving wives and kids to die while crops failed and water wheels fell apart, that he shouted to all in posterity, "Thou shalt pound thy swords into plowshares." My speeches stress loss of water and food life support impending as hyperspeed fast as conventional war exploding to nuclear. If you do not immediately hammer leaders to build a huge new water supply, then lakes, rivers, crops, and water out of your own damn faucet could disappear before your 8-year-old can pick a college. Currently, just a few nations and a couple of American cities work on fresh rain collection or ocean desalination. Without the citizens' movement that I demand of all of us now, the next 5 years of skyrocketing death by crop failure and thirst will wake up many more leaders to Earth's human emergency. But our failure to end their corrupt private funding and deepening world economic reversal could make our every highly feasible but expensive technical project soon impossible. Your own family's near future survival is only possible with your close attention to and political action on this book's entire master plan, in my not so humble opinion. So listen up, spread it around, and add your far more expert innovations. That water crisis that I cover throughout is the ever-shrinking rain over 90% of Earth, except for giant, intermittent, unused coastal floods, for most of each year's 365 days. I reasonably envision a major portion of humanity's 8 billion dying in under a decade unless you make governments put much of every war dollar into building pipes to deliver roof, street, and floodwater to every earthling otherwise about to parch and starve. Now, you could ignore my imperative for the only other plan that we faintly hear from just about the entire pack of heads-up-their-butts leaders to merely ration soon-to-be dust lakes and rivers for your last few glasses of water. Not a single drop of new supply sought or gathered. During the ever-worsening 24-year continental world regular rain drought, I weirdly promote gathering floodwater. Let me explain. The other CO2 hothouse effect, besides that fatal dearth of steady rain to sustain every river, lake, reservoir, and municipal water supply, is increasingly monstrous floods intermittently sent to coastal areas by ever warmer evaporating oceans. Unfortunately, our hopelessly distracted leaders have yet to even imagine collecting off-ocean steam and just inland floods for delivery to the center of every populated continent. January of 2023's California news and Earth's 100 monster floods of 2022 all prove my case beyond any doubt. Right now, 40 million parching folks, mostly in Southern California, can only stupidly demand that their formerly huge Colorado River-fed reservoirs, Meade and Powell, please continue their 80-year watering of crops, factories, and people. Well, forget that. In 3 years, that river and those lakes will be gone below hydroelectric turbine operation and most every other water need. As I've said, idiot leaders only plan to ration nothing, to subdivide and share zero. This December, an LA resident could hop in a car and drive towards Northern California, but not through it. Because for weeks, most roads have run feet deep in floodwater. The same CO2 heat scorching that now cracks entire continents' topsoil, withers slender wheat, and plunges rainforests into drought, also heats hell out of every ocean. While most every land area's original clouds become ever more desiccated below all but light rain sprinkles potential, trillions of gallons more sun and heat-drawn steam rises from oceans. Historic clouds so soaking wet as to inspire meteorologists' brand new term, sky rivers, blow inland, becoming 40-inch hurricanes or equally monstrous floods, all condensing and dumping over cooler inland regions. This happens often enough over a number of world areas, but far more seldom over others, which absolutely requires our construction of pipe delivery to everywhere else soon dried up dead if we don't. Keep striving for your family 100 hours a week. Just realize that only that one more growing our rescue movement and bullying distant governments will save your dear ones' lives and future. Had I or anyone else yapped this audio 10 years ago, and you had jumped on the politics and infrastructure, Lakes Meade and Powell would have remained fed and full from giant pipelines from Northern California, never mind from the dying Colorado River. To handle all delay from uncertain distant floods, your neighborhood's roof and street rain collection, and city and state tax contribution to growing ocean desalination would be now well underway, making your family, not to mention the entire world's hydration, agriculture, and economy, set for life. Get it? For life. Instead, without your world movement, we're all about to enter our world of hurt, savagely suffering until we helplessly watch every loved one die decades early. Do we have 10 more years to dither, delay, and deny? Try 10 minutes, fools! I didn't write this 15 years ago because the water crisis, while certainly accelerating, was not yet worldwide, death-storming obvious. Of course, those thousands of gallons of hard liquor didn't exactly skyrocket my efforts either. In 2008 and 2023, we all lived in a world whose main habit was passively watching leaders ignore and cause every crisis, sealing our doom. Today, though, is entirely another matter. You and I have fallen deeply, desperately, ambitiously, actively in love with our family's future. Our passion and determination rising fast as the danger, faster, tougher. I threw down 53 years of drug addiction to write this book. A good effort, totally wasted unless you listen to every word, then hammer our leaders for every action required to save your family. Why invite only that length of lonely suffering and early death when, with brief but smart, regular, eloquent activism, we could all live happily, lovingly ever after? Only you, repeatedly conducting interventions of corrupt government edicts, can save most of us. Why will we act? Because our love and our work will win lots more happy life for all those who will then ever love you back. You generous, selfish, greedy, amorous child.